Welcome back to my channel. So first and foremost, I have to say I know that it has been forever since I filmed a video. We have had so much going on. As you can see, my background is no longer blue. We did have to move out of our condo, which was like the longest process of life. So we are in a temporary situation for right now, and we'll be moving yet again. But in the meantime, I did want to make sure that I went ahead and filmed a couple things for you guys so that my channel wasn't just non-existent without any videos being posted. So I do apologize that it's been a little while since I've gotten a video up, but anyone who has moved, which should be everyone who is watching this video, knows that it is quite a process. So that is why I have not been posting any videos. But I am back and I have been filming and have so many ideas of things that I want to film for you guys. So definitely stay tuned. I should be posting quite a few videos over the next couple of weeks. So for today's video, I wanted to get up my foundation routine for summer. I filmed this routine about a month or so ago and was not satisfied with the way that it looked once I actually got to the editing phase. So I decided to refilm it because I do think that it is a video that can definitely be very helpful. So I went ahead and refilmed it for you guys and figured that that would be the first video that I would make sure that I got up for you guys before I started working on my other ones. So in this video, I did use the L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about and may have even heard mixed reviews about. I mentioned it in my top 10 must-have products for the spring and summertime, and I'm still loving it just as much now as I was when I mentioned it then. So I will be using that foundation to show you how I do my full face foundation routine for the summertime, and it is literally the foundation that I use pretty much every day unless I'm going out for a special event or a formal event where I may use a different foundation. But on a day-to-day basis, this is the one that I use, and even for my oily skin, I really do love it. So I hope that you guys do enjoy this video. It will be a talk through tutorial, so let me know how you guys like that as opposed to the voiceover, and if you do like it, just give this video a thumbs up. So without further ado, if you would like to see how I got this full face foundation, then please keep watching. Hey guys, so as you can see, I am starting off with a clean, freshly washed and moisturized face. Of course, as you can see, I have already filled in my brows, which I went ahead and did just so that I won't have to worry about doing it later. If you are interested in seeing how I fill in my brows, I do have a full tutorial, which I will link down below. So feel free to click that and check that out if you are interested. But anytime that I do my foundation, the very first thing that I start with is a primer. For me, a primer is very important because I do have very oily skin, and I have tried several different primers, but today I'm going to show you two that I have really been loving for the summer, just because of course with all the sweat and the change in the humidity and different things with me being here in the South, I have been using specific primers to help a lot more with controlling the oil on my face. So the main two primers that I use are the Benefit POREfessional, and what this one is going to do is help to minimize my pores or smooth out my pores on my face so that they don't show through my foundation as much. And then the second is the Rimmel Stay Matte, which is a newer one for me that I have been using and really loving. So the first one that I'm going to apply is my Benefit POREfessional, and I usually just apply it to my face one side at a time, concentrating it on the areas of my face where my pores are the largest, which are mostly just going to be on my cheeks and on my nose. So I'm just going to apply this right onto my cheeks, and I'm actually pressing it into my skin as opposed to just rubbing it on, really pushing it into my pores and just rubbing it in. And of course, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and this is how much I'm using, not very much at all, just about a pea-size amount. Okay, and then once I've got that applied, I'm going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte, and I'm going to apply about a pea-size or so amount of this as well. But this amount I'm actually going to use on my entire face. This is a pretty thick formula, so I don't use a whole lot of it. I'm just going to put some on my cheeks, a little bit on my forehead, and then the rest on my chin, and of course just press that into my skin as well. And already I feel like you can see so much of a difference. It's much less oily and much more smoothed out in my opinion, which I'm not sure if you can really see on camera, but it's definitely much less oily than it was when I started, and my skin is definitely much more smooth. Also, I did forget to mention that I did moisturize my lips as well before I started applying the primer to my face, and for that I used the Nivea lip butter in Vanilla and Macadamia Kiss, and I will have all the products that I use throughout the video listed in the down bar, so make sure that you expand that and check that out if you have any questions about anything that I used. Now that I've got my primer applied, I am going to go ahead and start to conceal some of these dark spots, and I have like a blemish over here and a blemish over here. I like a very flawless finish, so I do go in and conceal a couple of places before I actually apply my foundation, because the foundation that I'm using for summer is a much lighter, more sheer, buildable coverage, but definitely more sheer than a full coverage foundation. So for that, I'm just going to use my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC45, and I'm just going to dip my finger in that and apply it to the areas of my face that I want to conceal any dark spots. So now that I've got that applied, the next thing that I apply is my Tarte CC Cream in the color Tan. Now, when I purchased this, I was a little bit skeptical about it, but I have actually really been loving it for summer. I purchased it quite a while ago, and then I kind of stopped using it, and then I was like, oh, I'll try it out, and I've actually really been loving it. And what this is basically going to do is just smooth out and color correct some of the areas on my face, and I only apply this to areas where I have dark circles or where I feel like I want to conceal even further than the Studio Fix concealer that I just applied. So I'm just going to apply this on my cheeks, and then I have one spot on my forehead that I'm going to apply it onto, and then I'm also going to blend it out with a Real Technique stippling brush. Alright, and I know that this may seem like a lot, so feel free to skip any steps that you don't feel like are necessary for you. All of these products are very light on my skin, even though it does seem like I'm applying a lot on my face. The way that I'm applying it and the products that I'm using are very light, so it is very fitting for me for the summertime. But of course, if you don't need as much coverage, or if you don't prefer as much full coverage, feel free to skip any steps that you feel are unnecessary for your personal foundation routine. So next, finally, I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. So for the summertime, I have been loving the L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation, and mine is in the color, what color is this? 330 Classic Tan. So it's pretty liquidy, so I just make sure that I shake it up really well. And then I'm just going to pour out onto just the back of one of my pressed powder containers about a quarter size amount of this, and it's going to be enough to cover my entire face. So I'm just going to pour it right out onto there, and then the excess I'm just going to wipe off onto my beauty blender. And then I'm actually going to use this sponge to apply the foundation. This one is the Real Technique sponge, which I've actually really been loving much more than the original beauty blender. I actually used my beauty blender earlier today to apply my makeup, and I was just like, I've just gotten so used to using this sponge. I love it so much more. So I'm just gonna dip it directly into the product and apply it onto my face. And I really prefer doing it this way, using the sponge, because I feel like I get a much more smooth and much more full coverage application of the product than I would if I used a brush. Okay, so now that I've got that applied, the next step is going to be to conceal my under eye circles. And for that, I'm going to be using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this one is in the color medium/dark to caramel. So I really love this concealer, especially for my daytime foundation routine. Most times I am doing this on my way out the door to work, and so having this sponge applicator really makes it easier for me to quickly apply this under my eyes, blend it out, and not have to worry about getting my fingers all messy. So I'm just going to apply this under my eyes and then blend it out with my Sigma F86 tapered kabuki brush. So now that I have got that applied, the next thing that I'm going to do is set it in place using my Ben Nye banana powder. And I'm just going to apply that onto all the areas that I just placed the concealer, patting it on, and then basically kind of fluffing away the excess. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Mineral Powder Foundation, also in the color Classic Tan. And I'm just going to pick this up on a big fluffy powder brush. This one is by Sigma, it's the F30, but any fluffy powder brush that you have will do. And I'm just going to tap it right into the product and blend it all over the other areas of my face that have not been set. Okay, so that is it for my foundation routine. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Alright guys, so this is the finished face. I hope that you guys did enjoy this makeup tutorial. As I mentioned, all of the products that I use throughout will be listed in the bottom bar or in the description bar. So make sure that you just expand that and check it out if you have any questions about any of the products that I used. I hope that you did learn something new, and if you liked the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.